Again, as we begin the forum again, I'd like to remind our audience to please turn off your cell phones. The recording of this forum is copyrighted to the League of Women Voters 2025, and personal recordings and photographs are not allowed. Please remain silent and hold your applause till the end of the forum. There are 7 candidates for City Council. Shantae Bland is running but could not be here tonight. I will read her statement with the opening statements. We have Daniel Brightwell, Katrina Butler, Yolanda Haynes, Stacy Jackson, Gregory Keeler, and Michael Mandelbaum. Thank you. And I'll begin with Ashante's comments. Good evening, community members, elected officials, League of Women Voters, and fellow candidates. My name is Ashante Bland, and unfortunately I cannot be present due to my commitment to serve at this evening's first regular school board meeting of the year. I am running for City Council, Southfield City Council, to bring strong financial stewardship and community-focused leadership to our city. I have a bachelor's degree in public administration from Central Michigan University and the professional experience as a senior auditor at General Motors. I have built a career on ensuring fiscal responsibility and sound decision-making. I will focus on business growth, revenue enhancement, and more robust community development, target high-impact business sectors, and support small businesses' growth that contributes through property taxes, utility taxes, employment-based income taxes and fees, expand smart incentives, and attract long-term investment while protecting our public funds. As president of the school, Southfield Board of Education, I worked with my colleagues to pass the largest capital bond in the district's history and advanced policies that prioritized financial responsibility and safe learning environments. Yours in service, Ashante Bland, candidate for City Council. And we will begin with the rest of the in-house ones. We'll start with Daniel Brightwell.
I want to thank the League of Women Voters for this forum, and I thank you, all the citizens, for being an informed citizen. I have been reelected 3 times since 2015. I am known as the councilman that gets things done. I know it takes 4 votes to get things done, but I have a 30-year record of management and finance at Ford and AT&T. I identified the $22 million funds to build our new pool. I identified that by being the chair of the finance committee and also sitting on the finance committee for the past 10 years. I facilitated a $1.2 million grant for the San Marino Homeowners Association to improve their living condition. I initiated a $165 million review of all the city buildings and land to make sure they were modern and or ADA compliant. Thank you.
And the next is Katrina Butler.
Hello, my name is Katrina Butler. I am a 20-plus year resident of Southfield. I am, my education is in Master of Science in Human Resource Management, and I have a Bachelor of Business Administration. My background, I have 25 years of property management, managing 2 of those properties in Southfield. Although I'm not a career politician, however, I am a neighbor and I love Southfield. I wanted to continue to move the center of it all, Southfield, forward, and I look forward to continue to speaking to residents, continuing to serve in a leadership position. So please remember me throughout this forum. And I also want to again thank the League of Women Voters for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Haynes?
Hello. A special thank you to the League of Women Voters for this great opportunity of voter education. As a longtime resident, volunteer, and servant leader, after being appointed to this position, I have served full-time, as I stated that I would, to do the job, to help support local initiatives in our community, to help support local businesses, to also support our fire and police department. I have also asked the tough questions to get things done and perhaps change the trajectory of the way things are done. I am willing to sit down with any community leader or any resident to answer any questions you may have and to further discuss things that I have done in this community to make Southfield the greatest place to live. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Stacy Jackson, please.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Jackson, and I am delighted to be here as a candidate of Southfield City Council. I am running to be a new voice with a new vision for a new direction, one that amplifies the voices of our communities, one that is revitalizing a downtown area, one that champions homeowners and renters' rights. I have 30 years of experience in outreach education. I am a community advocate. I believe in showing up, standing up, and speaking up for the communities for which I serve. I am delighted to be here this evening, and thank you for coming out.
Thank you. Mr. Keeler?
I would like to thank the League of Women Voters for this forum today. My name is Greg Keeler. I am a 35-year resident of the city of Southfield. I'm a father, father, grandfather, and I have worked in this community for about 35 years, helping community receive their objective. I personally have worked as an electrician apprentice, licensed refrigeration, engineering, technology, research and development, an owner of a business. These experiences have helped me develop problem-solving skills in which I intend to focus on the energy within the city of Southfield. I know how to get things done. I am also a lifetime swimmer. This is my passion. Now I am ready to bring these skills and solution-finding problems to the city of Southfield. I want to make this place where we have a swimming pool for all the residents to enjoy.
Thank you. Mr. Mandelbaum?
Good evening. I would like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum. My name is Michael Ari Mandelbaum, your current Southfield Council President. I was born and raised in Southfield, as was my wife, and I'm raising my family here. We enjoy many of the amenities Southfield has to offer. This fall, I am asking for your vote to keep me on Southfield City Council. I will continue to fight to keep our city diverse, make it more walkable, attract younger families with affordable housing, great schools, and community activities. I will push for continued road improvement, park improvements, and see the new city pool to completion. I will work to attract restaurants and businesses. I will monitor the Northland development and continued reuse of vacant buildings. I will advocate for more programming for Southfield seniors, increased transparency in government spending, and first-rate police, fire, and EMS. For the past 10 years, I've had the privilege to serve you. With your vote again, I go to work.
Thank you. We will begin the question phase now. Remember, this is a 1-minute response time for each one of the questions, and we'll begin with Mr. Brightwell. Would you support ICE and Southfield Police collaborating in finding undocumented immigrants, and would you support withholding driver's license reader data from ICE access?
I would not support our police supporting ICE, and I would not withhold driver's license from applicants. I think I answered that, I believe.
Yep.
Okay.
Ms. Butler?
Can you repeat the question?
Oh, yep, certainly. Would you support ICE and Southfield Police collaborating in finding undocumented immigrants, and will you support withholding driver's license reader data from ICE access?
I would not support the withholding driver's license from undocumented citizens, but I would be in support of moving forward just to make sure that those citizens are actually undocumented. So I would be in support of that.
Okay. Ms. Haynes?
What I would support is the law. What happens with the law in our states? We have to follow the law as it is required in our state. That is of utmost importance. We have a fire and a police chief, especially a police chief, in a situation like this that can best handle this situation and knows the law and how whatever comes to this state, how to handle it. And we also have a city attorney that can interpret that law to make sure that what happens in this state is by the law and it is legal. That's what I support, what the law states. That's what's most important.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson?
Can you please repeat the question?
Yep. Would you support ICE and Southfield Police collaborating in finding undocumented immigrants? And will you support withholding driver's license reader data from ICE access?
Okay, if I'm hearing the question correctly, no, I would not support Southfield Police working in conjunction with ICE. I believe that Southfield PD has its local business and state operations to handle as far as on a local level. It is not its job to get involved with ICE or federal institutions in that matter for collaborative work. The second question sounds as if you were asking if one would hold the information, ID information of people from the database of ICE. I would say yes, I would withhold giving that information to ICE as a local official because it is not my place to support those type of initiatives. In the event they need to do those type of things, they would need to go through the appropriate channels through the federal government to work with those agencies to get that done. It is not for a local person as a city official to get involved with those type of things on that level.
Thank you. Mr. Keeler?
Could you repeat the question again?
Would you support ICE and Southfield Police collaborating in finding undocumented immigrants? Will you support withholding driver's license reader data from ICE access?
No, because there's more than likely a chance they will pick up the wrong people and anybody, and they'll be picking up in the sweep, so no. The second thing, would there be a reimbursement, or will we be getting money up front for our police officers? If that's not talked about in the first part, no, our police are doing a job big enough for them right now. And we don't need the extra expense coming to us from the federal government. Now, withholding their driver's license and data information, no.
Okay. Mr. Mandelbaum?
Thank you. The city does not control driver's license data. That's something that is done at the state level. So the city would have no control over whether or not that data is withheld or given over to law enforcement. Our police force is extremely busy. They're extremely professional. If there was such a law that we had to coordinate with ICE, I would look to our city attorney, I would look to our police chief and discuss with them what options we have. What would be the penalty if the police did not support that initiative? We have other things in the city to worry about, and I would look to those experts, the police chief, the city attorney, the city administration, to find out what is the best for the city and what we can do legally and what we cannot do legally.
Thank you. And then the next question will start with Ms. Butler. There are many cannabis products that are not regulated by the Cannabis Regulation Agency that are for sale to underage school children through party stores, gas stations, etc. Currently, this is legal. What can the city do?
What can the city do to allow, you said more cannabis?
No, there are, I'll read it again. It's a long question. There are many cannabis products that are not regulated by the Cannabis Regulation Agency that are for sale to underage school children through party stores, gas stations, etc. Currently, this is legal. What can the city do?
I think the city could work with the owners. We can allow more police force to go through these party stores to make sure that they're not being sold to underage students. So I think with the underage, with the cannabis sales, that's something that should be worked with the party owners that are in the city, and that should be done with the police force.
Okay. Ms. Haynes?
The sale of cannabis to children and minors should not be allowed by any means. Anything that has been brought to my attention about that on the council, we will and should investigate that. In the past, there has been paraphernalia that has been sold to stores that was removed from the stores. And again, if this is the case, this will happen again. We are not in support of children being able to purchase any product that is not for them in their age level, for any child under the age of 18. And like I said, that will be investigated and should be investigated. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have Ms. Jackson. Yep. There are many cannabis products that are not regulated by the Cannabis Regulation Agency that are for sale to underage children through party stores and gas stations, etc. Currently, this is legal. What can the city do?
Well, for starters, we can start to adopt policies where we don't have so many abutted to one another and so many in our city. I, for one, would think that we could locally adopt the half-mile rule so that we don't have as many gas stations and liquor stores abutted up to one another to sell this paraphernalia. That's the first step, is changing the laws and policies that we can control. Others is perhaps reaching out and doing outreach with the schools to talk about drug use and things like that. Another approach could be working with our counties to partnership with them to discuss ways how we can turn this into practice, to make this laws, to get this on the books, to make it illegal to do these things. But to start, as your council person, I would like to adopt rules and policies that locally impact us, all of us in our community, so that we are not abutted up to liquor store after liquor store or gas station after gas station. These are things that we can control by making those policies.
Thank you. Mr. Keeler.
As I look out into this audience now, I see two advocates for the youth being away from the drugs. So I think that we have to have our advocates that we have in our community help work with them so they can go out to schools and all the different places. Some have put on forums and different things so that we are all educated about this and that they know what the problems are and what the things are, that these are gateway drugs and everything else. And we need to see what changes can we put there to make a change for the sales of these products in our neighborhoods and keep them out of our communities. There's also been reported on Channel 7 News about some of the drugs and some of the narcotics. We need to have all this in action as well as put on Channel 15 from our cable network so that everybody has a chance to know about it, and also put in our Sun paper and possibly into our newsletters. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mandelbaum.
Thank you. You know, there's, the question was also, these are technically legal to sell to minors. Now, whether or not the city can create an ordinance regarding that is, I'd have to talk to our city attorney. But I would definitely work with the schools, with our city's Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition, which we just had in June, in June we had a forum that talked about the dangers of synthetic drugs. The city promotes and helps the schools and communities with education around why these drugs are bad. We've worked with our police department to go into these party stores, gas stations, and look at those products, making sure that they are not being used or sold inappropriately to our youth. But a lot of it is education to our community and to our schools, and the city, working with the Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition, is taking those steps to make that happen.
Okay. And we go back to the other end of the table with Mr. Brightwell.
Since I've been on council, I've advocated working with the school board. And in this particular item, I believe it is a gateway to more serious drugs. So I would work with the school board from an education standpoint, seek it, we, with the council support, drive the information that this is not a good drug for younger people, primarily because there's a gateway and they have the full support of the city of Southfield and the city council to spread the word that this is not a good thing to have, because it is a good gateway. Once we get them hooked on the low level, then next thing you know, there's more serious drugs are being involved.
Okay, the next question, we'll start with Ms. Haynes. How do you feel about parking meters, and should residents have to pay to park on city property?
Residents here are already complaining about taxes. Why in the world would we introduce parking meters? Seriously, no.
All right, thank you. Ms. Jackson?
Well, being a future forward-thinking person, I would like to say where. My vision is to see the city with a vibrant downtown space. Perhaps if we had a downtown space, there would be a reason to have parking meters, to pay for parking, to come down, to visit entertainment or other events. In our current state, I would not approve of parking meters for those reasons. But again, being a forward future person, and as your next city councilwoman, I would love to see a vibrant small downtown area where perhaps we could install parking meters to collect revenue for our city.
Thank you. Mr. Keeler?
We've already talked about the fact that taxes are too high, that businesses are not here in the city of Southfield. If you want businesses to come here and people to come here and shop and do stuff, throw that parking meter there and see if they won't go away. If you want people to be tired of being taxed and nickel and dime everywhere you can find it, put the parking meters out there. As it is now, we go freely to where we like to go and enjoy ourselves. But having to run back out there every 20 minutes or 30 minutes to put in money into the meter or set our credit cards into them, no, that's not a good viable thing for us. So I do not think we should have parking meters here. That's one of the things that make people want to come here and shop and buy things. That will be a distraction. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mandelbaum?
All right, thank you. The city does an approach to make our city services, our city programming, either free or low cost for residents. We do that so we can get residents to come out and enjoy those programs. I think installing parking meters, whether it's on city property or any other place, would not be beneficial to driving people to the city. It would drive them away. You go to cities like Royal Oak or Ferndale, there's many people who will go to other cities, other areas, because they don't want to deal with parking meters. They don't want to deal with the hassle of either the apps on the phone or putting quarters in. And even businesses, we have a lot of parking. We offer a lot of opportunities for people to find parking, attend our programs, use our businesses, use our library. We don't need parking meters to, it would help keep people coming to Southfield without meters.
Thank you. Mr. Brightwell?
I would be against parking meters in the city of Southfield. Being a long-time watcher of city council, I do believe at one point in time there was a study and or a review of how to charge parking for this library parking lot, and they got to a point of deciding how we get the snow up, but that died out. So pretty much I would be against parking in the city of Southfield that's paid, and we are in the process now trying to create a downtown Southfield, and anything to inhibit that, we would definitely, I would be against it, and I would be against it, period. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Butler?
I would be against the parking meters. The parking meters sometimes are eyesore and kind of a deterrent from residents visiting other communities. When you visit the city of Southfield, this past summer and coming up events, you've had so many events, that's one less thing that you had to worry about is going out or pulling out your credit card, pulling out your phone, trying to look for the certain app to make sure that this was the correct city. That is not one of the things that you have to worry about when you visit the city of Southfield. You're able to visit the city of Southfield to enjoy an event without worrying about a parking meter. So I would not be in agreement with a parking meter. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll begin the next question with Ms. Jackson. How will you protect the integrity of the neighborhoods for the families that you represent, and what will you do to strengthen neighborhoods?
That's an excellent question and one that is very near to me. I currently serve as the association president for Beechwood Acres Homeowners Association, an honor that I have held for 8 years. I am a community activist. I am a community advocate. I believe in showing up, standing up, and speaking up for the residents in my community, and it's my community that encouraged me to be here today. One of the things that I've developed is a community continuity plan. When Southfield had a number of power outages, I make it my business to go door to door in my community to make sure the seniors and the people in my community are okay. It was during those times that I learned that there were people who were actually in bad shape when the power went out. Those stuck in critical positions because their medical devices didn't work or move. So I believe in showing up, standing up, and speaking up. My common practice is to care. C-A-R-E. Community always reaches everyone.
Thank you. Mr. Keeler? Yes. How will you protect the integrity of the neighborhoods for the families that you represent, and what will you do to strengthen the neighborhoods?
In my neighborhood, we get together every now and then, and we have community conversations so that we know what's going on with each other and everything else. The biggest thing we have that protects us is the police officers come around, that we do talk to them, and they come around once a week or so. And we do let them know some of the difficulties we are having in the neighborhood. So to have that spread out to different neighborhoods and different HOAs, that they do have communications with their police officers. So they do patrol their neighborhoods, so they do know what's going on in their areas. And we do look out for some of the older people in the neighborhoods, because as things have changed and some of the rules have changed, we do need to look out for the older residents in our community and everything else and check on them and make sure that they're okay. We need to look for different things just to make them safe. Like Stacy said, when the power went out, how many people were without electricity and our city was closed down?
Thank you. Mr. Mandelbaum?
One of the nice things about Southfield is the different communities that we have. Every neighborhood is different and unique. Some have parks, some have acre lots, and some don't some have homes close together. Every neighborhood is different. When I first got involved in the city, before being on city council, I served on the Total Living Commission, which worked for the betterment of all Southfield residents. One of the things I did when I became a council person was attended neighborhood association meetings, listened to the concerns, listened to what they needed, and found solutions. Every few years, the city holds a forum, an educational forum for neighborhood association presidents, giving them the tools, the information that they need to get things done. We have grant programs for entranceways. We have a number of programs that we work with association presidents because they're uniquely qualified for their neighborhoods to know what they need, and we work closely with them.
Thank you very much. Mr. Brightwell?
I'm a strong advocate for neighborhoods, and as an example, I worked on and facilitated a $1.5 million grant from the state for the San Marino neighborhood that improved their living condition, and that just indicates how much I am pro neighborhood. Neighborhood indicates the character of the city, but with respect to protecting neighborhoods, in addition to strengthening them, I would limit the number of rentals in neighborhoods, and also I would limit the number of Airbnb in neighborhoods, because it's a given that when people are renting, they are transient and they do not take good care of neighborhoods as much as the individual who actually lives there. So I would pretty much monitor those activities, and right now when there are developments and home developments in certain neighborhoods, one of the first things I ask, how will this change the character of the neighborhood? Thank you.
Ms. Butler?
To protect the integrity of the neighborhood, I would continue to listen to the neighbors. And to the main point of when you're listening to the neighbors, follow up with solutions. And when you have that solution, follow through with them to let them know that it's being completed. I think that's the most important aspect of being in a neighborhood, when you know in your neighborhood what's going on, and when you know what's going on, you do something about it. And when you do something about it, you follow up with them to let them know that this is going to be completed in this amount of time. And that's what I would do to continue to strengthen the integrity of the neighborhood. Thank you.
Ms. Haynes?
Neighborhoods are the heart and soul of our community. Just last night at the council meeting, I spoke about an initiative to talk to the residents, especially homeowners association presidents, about National Neighborhood Week. What we need is viable neighborhood communities that are strong. There are residents that aren't able to get out. There are residents that are afraid of some things that may be changing in their neighborhood. How do you protect those integrities? By calling the police, talking to the chief and saying, hey, why don't you give this neighborhood some special attention? That's how you protect the integrity. Or you go to those neighbors and you talk to them and say, when you talk to me about something, it stays here. It stays here with our city officials, and we do the work to get the job done. This is how we create a vibrant Southfield. And we let the neighbors know, you know what? It's not us against them. We are residents too. We care about our community. We care about our neighborhood. That's why we are here. That's why I am here, to work together with the neighborhoods as I have done. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next question, we will start with Mr. Keeler. Property taxes and rent are way too high in Southfield. If elected or re-elected, what are you going to do to lower property taxes and rent for residents, especially seniors, the disabled, veterans, and low-income residents?
I went earlier this year up to Lansing, to the Capitol, to also fight for this issue, for lowering the property taxes for seniors and renters. Earlier this year, I fought for the residents who have septic tanks to have their property taxes drop, because you cannot depreciate a home and then increase its property tax. That is illegal. So I would first start with educating people on what can be and what cannot be done. Then also what things they can do, as well as to make sure their assessment is proper and not done out of order and not overstated from the state laws and everything else. I believe education is the first part. New people that are coming into the neighborhoods and everything else. There is also help from them from the city when they buy one of the new homes. So the education that was talked about today, we're learning about when you come in as a first home buyer. Most people don't know about that. So there needs to be a lot of education out there.
Thank you. Mr. Mandelbaum?
Can you please repeat the question?
Sure. Property taxes and rent are way too high in Southfield. If elected or re-elected, what are you going to do
The
to...
library will close in 5 minutes at 8 p.m. If you're using a laptop, please disconnect it at this time. At 8 p.m., all computers will shut down and the checkout desk will close.
If elected or re-elected, what are you going to do to lower property taxes and rent for residents, especially seniors, the disabled, veterans, and low-income residents?
Property tax in Southfield, unfortunately, is high. When you look at your actual millage rate in the city, your Southfield's millage rate is 26 mills. The city council this year raised the taxes by 0.19 mills, less than a mill, very small increase. Every dollar you spend in property tax, only 37 cents goes to the city. The rest go to the county, to the state, and the school board. So when you're looking at taxes, Southfield is not really getting its fair share, but we still make do. Rent is a private entity. There's not much the city can do for those private entities, but we do try to work with seniors. Disabled veterans can get exemptions. Seniors can get lower tax rates if they qualify. There's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of education that we do with our seniors, with our veterans, to ensure that they can stay in their homes as long as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Brightwell?
You know, property taxes in Southfield are, when compared with our peers, when we take out the millage for the school board, our taxes are about average or lower than the average peer that we have in Southeast Michigan. The one thing that I've done and I've stressed since I've been on council, as a finance committee, we do good investments and we get good interest. We get interest revenue from our investments. That pretty much, in addition to taxes, that goes into what we're able to pay for the fire, police, and public services. So we are, my goal and objective is to pretty much increase the revenue that we have, and we will not be increasing property taxes in the city of Southfield, but everyone has pretty much voted for the school millage that we have, and we're obligated to, well, you're obligated to pay for that, so.
Thank you. Ms. Butler?
In regard to the property taxes, I think every resident of Southfield that I have spoken to while out on the trail, that is one of their concerns. As far as lowering the property taxes, I think the question should be, what are we getting with our property taxes? What can we level it out if this possibly cannot be lowered? What can we add as an incentive to the city of Southfield to average this out? As far as rent, again, rent is something that is a separate entity from being in property management. Rent is something that we can adjust. We can make rental adjustments to the rental homes or apartment communities. So rent, it can be lowered, but you also can have an adjustment to that. So working again, if I'm a part of city council, I would look for ways to, if it could not be lowered, if we can maybe add more value to the city with the taxes.
Thank you. Ms. Haynes?
I would not be telling you the truth if I could tell you I would lower your taxes. That is just not what we are here to do. We cannot do that. I cannot do that as a candidate again, and as a city council person. But what we can do is provide services for people that are struggling, that may have some challenges with paying for things. We have human services that offers emergency assistance. We have a food program. And within the human services, we also have a budget committee. That, not a committee, but a service that teaches people how to handle your money. Because sometimes when people have these challenges with situations like this, they may need a little bit of education on how to handle their money. And I think that is utmost importance. We are doing what we can in this city to keep our property taxes low with what we have. We are working the best with what we have in our city. And for the value, we have excellent city services. We have an excellent police department and an excellent fire department. And we have approved initiatives to keep them up front with all the things that they need to do to serve us. Thank you.
The library is opening home tomorrow at 10 a.m. Please exit using the main doors. Have a good night.
And with that, we are going to take one more question.
I didn't get a chance to respond.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And if you could please repeat the question.
Oh, yep, hey, I make 3 mistakes. I'm not doing too bad tonight.
You're human.
Property taxes and rent are way too high in Southfield, if elected or re-elected. What are you going to do to lower property taxes and rent for the residents, especially seniors, the disabled, veterans, and low-income residents?
Another issue that's very dear to me. I was with Mr. Keeler in Lansing as we lobbied to help lower rent and to help homeowners with this issue. Property taxes definitely are high in Southfield. I am not a fan of saying that we just get nice services. All of the other surrounding municipalities with high taxes have great services too. My concern is, what are the other community amenities that we have for those taxes? One of the things we can do, if we can't lower them, what are we doing to increase the tax base here? How about reinventing or revitalizing a downtown area where we do put up those parking meters, where we're getting extra money to help pay for things for taxes? Also, having a community center that would help with some things of those natures. There are things that we are lacking in our community that other areas have for the money that we pay. Having a good police force, having a good first responders, that's a given. That's a given, and we have that.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to start the last round of questions. And we'll start with Mr. Mandelbaum. How can the city address the maintenance issues in senior apartments, such as sewage backups and water leaking from the ceilings with wires hanging?
With senior apartments, depending on where they are, where they're located, we work very closely with our building department, with our code enforcement, with our public works department. They address those issues and they take it seriously. When there's an issue, we ask that residents reach out to our building department. 248-796-4117 is our building official director. And he will go out and look at those apartments. He will take a look at what is leaking. When you go to an apartment, you see a leak in the roof, you'll see a leak in the ceiling. Maybe it's already being worked on. Maybe it was called in. Just because you don't know what is being worked on doesn't mean that it's not being addressed. But again, those are private entities, those are private property, and we work closely with owners, with property managers, with the residents to ensure that they have safe living conditions. And we can't be everywhere all the time, and we ask those residents to give us a call so we can address their needs.
Thank you. Mr. Brightwell. Yep. How can the city address the maintenance issues in senior apartments, such as sewage backups and water leaking from the ceiling with wires hanging?
Several years ago, approximately, I guess 6 years ago, I was council president, and I initiated the apartment inspection ordinance in the city of Southfield to have those apartments, all apartments in the city of Southfield will be inspected on a rotating basis. It'll probably take 5 years. We have a certain period of time. After that 5-year or 6-year period of time, all apartments in Southfield would have been inspected on a rotating basis. So I would push that, make sure that is being implemented now to continuously rotate the inspection of all apartments in the city of Southfield, looking for, there are certain standards that all apartments should abide by. And I know at the point in time, what initiated this was this Sapphire apartment complex. And that issue was, this ordinance came about trying to make sure we were not hit by that issue again. On Christmas Day, I was called about the Sapphire appointment. Thank you very much.
Ms. Butler?
In reference to your question in regard to the leaks within the city, that is a owner property management. We are required to have annual inspections every year. When you see and have a leak, that is top priority. It's top priority because a leak, one simple leak can cause damage to the entire community, depending on what the area is. So if it is a concern and the owner is not taking care of it, then the city should reach out. But however, that is a property management owner's responsibility to take care of a leak.
Ms. Haynes?
What I'm concerned about most important with this situation about the leaks is the fact that, as stated, that is an owner's concern. What I'm more concerned about is the fact that when you put things on social media and you direct them as if it is something that the council is responsible for, I think that's what we need to be conscious of. We need to be aware of whose responsibility goes where. If you have a problem within your city, go to your elected officials, call them, email them, send them pictures. Let's not blast our council or our mayor for things that we're responsible for. Send it to us so we can handle it, so we can best take care of the situation to satisfy the residents. We can't be in all places at all times. But like I said, it's not us against them. We work together. Let's continue to work together to get things done and not blast our city and put things out. When things hit social media, they hit other places. And you may wonder why somebody may not want to live here if they see things like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Keeler?
The Sapphire project.
Well,
Oh, did I skip?
yeah, you skipped me again.
Oh, Stacy Jackson. I'm sorry. I checked too many checks. Got my list.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes, I can. How can the city address the maintenance issues in senior apartments, such as sewage backups and water leaking from the ceiling with wires hanging?
I think the city needs a different approach. I believe that we need to be community-driven and community-focused. I don't think this role is about capability, it's about commitment. I don't need to personally be going through a problem to be committed to helping to solve it. I think that there are ways that our city government can work with homeowners, can work with property owners to make sure we have a quality of life for our residents. It is not enough to say that it is a property management responsibility if it's in your city. It is not enough just to say contact the building department if there are not laws in place that protect the tenants who actually speak out. We have residents who are afraid to show up, stand up, and speak up because there is no alternative for them. I am here to tell you tonight, I am kind, but I ain't never been a punk. I am community trusted, I am community respected, and I am community strong.
Mr. Keeler.
Yes, the Sapphire issue was one that we had that was going on for, I think, 1 or 2 years. The biggest problem we have is that there was a health issue, and we weren't moving on it. You had code violations, you got health problems. Now, are we gonna end up with a lawsuit because we're not doing what we're supposed to do? If it needs to have the code come out there and shut it down, it needs to be shut down before the city ends up with a lawsuit. These things damage people's health, damage their families' health, and people that come into that building. There's possibly black mold if you have water coming there. There's possibly spores in the air. Anybody would tell you from the health department, this is bad for their lungs and everything else. With COVID, you don't want to add another thing on top of to weaken your health immunity system. So if we're not going to do what we say we're going to do, then okay.
Thank you very much. That concludes our time for questions. Candidates now have 1 minute to make a closing statement in reverse order from the opening statements. We will begin with Mr. Mandelbaum.
Thank you. My name is Councilman Michael Ari Mandelbaum, your current Southfield Council President. I am active in many charities and nonprofit organizations in Southfield and the Metro Detroit area. You can visit my website, mandelbaumforcouncil.com, to learn more about me, the issues I am passionate about, and my accomplishments on council. I'm also excited about the opportunity to continue overseeing the construction of a new indoor swimming pool here on the municipal campus. I currently am also the only elected official who posts their cell phone number on the city's website to ensure accessibility to all residents. That number is 248-905-1095. This fall, I'm asking for your vote to keep me on the Southfield City Council. I will continue to fight to keep our city diverse, make it more walkable, attract younger families with affordable housing, great schools, and community activities. For the past 10 years, I've had the privilege to serve you. With your vote again, I go to work.
Thank you. Mr. Keeler.
I believe the city has a lot of hidden jewels. Down the street from us is historic Berg Park. That is a hidden jewel. This library is a hidden jewel. There are so many things in here we don't use. We have a plaza we don't use, a swimming pool that is broken that needs to be used. And if we focus on regular maintenance of the property that we already own in the city of Southfield, we would have so many jewels, so many opportunities for the residents to enjoy themselves. What makes me a good choice for sitting on city council? My community engagement. I have fought for residents who have septic tanks, 750 of them, to have their property taxes dropped. I have asked for the football team, when it won the championship, to be acknowledged by the city council, and it was. I was successful in moving Lawrence Tech dormitory from off of a street that would not lower residents' property value.
Thank you, Mr. Keeler. Ms. Jackson.
Good evening, Southfield. I am a new voice with a new vision, with hopes of moving this city in a new direction. I am one who amplifies the voices of our communities. I champion homeowners and renters' rights. I want to help revitalize this city with a downtown. I want to increase the options of grocery stores. I am a community-driven, community-focused, and community-trusted person. I am a community actionist. I show up, I stand up, and I speak up for the communities that I serve It is the community that has driven me here, and it's my passion for a community that wants to help drive us all to a better future here in Southfield. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Haynes.
I am Yolanda Haynes, servant leader, asking for your support again on this city council. It takes a team to get the job done on city council. It is not a one-man show. I have been able to work with my colleagues to get things done and would like to continue to do that. It is important that you have people that you work with, that you respect, that respect you, that you get along with. It is important that you have people that ask the tough questions to get things done, to follow through, and we have done that. I have done that in supporting those initiatives as well. As a wife, as a mother, as a volunteer here in this very library that we serve our residents, we work together to collaborate programs to keep Southfield vital, growing, and we want to continue to do that as a team, to work together. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm also speaking for the people that know what we have done and trust what we have done, and we would like to continue to do to keep Southfield the center of it all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Butler.
My name is Katrina Butler. I would be happy to be a part of this city council to continue to move the city forward, to continue to bring my expertise of property management, my love for the city, my love for the residents. I would bring new, fresh perspectives to the city council. I would continue to work for the people because that would be the reason why I would be here, and I would be to serve. However, my phone number is not available on the website, but if you would like to learn more information about me, you can go to katrinaforsouthfield.com. If you have questions or concerns within regards to the city or any questions that I am able to answer here, you can reach out to me at katrinaforsouthfield@gmail.com. Thank you again for the opportunity, and I look forward to speaking with more residents and serving the city soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Brightwell.
I enjoy being on council, and because of what I have done and what I can do for the city of my hometown. If reelected, my next big project will be to improve our bond rating from a AA to a AAA. When I worked at AT&T, that was my job, was to work with Standard & Poor's to maintain their rating, their AAA rating. And by having a AAA rating, it will make money cheaper for us, and that will make it cheaper for us to repair our roads, make sure our pool is best in class, make sure we have the money to make sure that we have excellent services, and also to make sure Southfield continues to be a place to work, play, and to start a business, to live, work, and play. So thank you, and please vote. Brightwell, I'm the councilman that gets things done. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
The League of Women Voters would like to thank the audience, the candidates, the Southfield Library staff, and Southfield Cable 15 for making this forum possible. Rebroadcast of this forum will be on the League of Women Voters Oakland area website and YouTube. The League of Women Voters is funded by contributions from concerned businesses and citizens. Our membership is open to women and men over the age of 16. This presentation is copyrighted 2025 by the League of Women Voters. It can only be shown in its entirety. All rights are reserved. Remember, early voting starts October 25th, or you can vote at your precinct on November 4th. Democracy is not a spectator sport. Good night.